Welcome to the C Show. We're here. We're talking about wrestling. Once again, our big news to start off the show is that WrestleMania 42 will no longer be in New Orleans. All signs pointing to WrestleMania returning to Las Vegas. Of course, this is from Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com. From a statement from the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation, the event will be rescheduled to a later year. Money in the Bank will be held in New Orleans in 2026. So, quote, the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation and New Orleans & Company are working closely with our friends at TKO to expand our long-standing partnership, which will include UFC 318 on July 19th, 2025, Money in the Bank 2026, and WrestleMania, which will move from the currently scheduled 2026 timeframe to a future year. We got another piece here from from Sports Illustrated, Saudi Arabia. What's the difference? Quote, leaders in Saudi Arabia and London, England have not hid their desires of hosting WrestleMania in the future, and Indianapolis already has a deal in place to host the event down the line. All of these cities could potentially be short notice options if plans for Las Vegas are not finalized.
That's, I don't know. It's just strange. Like, they make such a big deal of WrestleMania. Again, it's so many days, so many events, a lot of money. Mm-hmm. It seems very strange for them to just kind of be like, no, we won't be here for WrestleMania. Like, you can have Money in the Bank, right? But you don't get the 2-day pay-per-view. You don't get the whole takeover before and after. You don't get the Hall of Fame. I just kind of wonder what really pushed this. Like, New Orleans hosted plenty of things. Like, they had the national championship this past year. You know, like you said, they
Super
have
Bowl too.
Super Bowl. They have UFC coming their way. So, like, I don't know why they're like, WrestleMania, let's put it on the back burner. Just seems like a very strange choice overall.
From what it seems like, I don't think it was the organizers in New Orleans. It was their decision. It seems like it was TKO's decision.
Yes, that's what I mean, where it's like, and what are they shying away from? Even if that's the right way to say it?
I don't think they're shying away from anything. I think they just saw the potential of Vegas for WrestleMania in the future. I mean, this is the real idea that I was thinking of, but like, if you were watching anything leading up to WrestleMania, it was, oh, WrestleMania After Dark, the Roast of WrestleMania, Hall of Fame, SmackDown, Raw. Like, it was the full takeover. It was the whole, like, it was everything that they, like, every day. You could be there Thursday through Monday or Tuesday morning, and you could literally do an entire weekend just all wrestling WWE things. And so I think really, like, Vegas is specifically designed for this today, more so than any other American city. You look at New Orleans, like, yes, New Orleans is definitely a party city. You have you have Bourbon Street, you have the French Quarter, you have open container laws, right? I think that's a big thing that people forget about. But Vegas also has designed all of this, and it's not constrained by the plans of French people from 400 years ago. And I feel like that's a serious problem that we don't talk about with New Orleans, is that, Katrina exposed a lot of this, and I'm going to get a little dark here, but like, most of New Orleans is under sea level. I don't know if you read the news, but things are not going well for the sea levels and things underneath the sea level. So I think there's almost like a risk management move in there somewhere as well, where they're looking long term and seeing like, hey, there's the financial implications of like, we could stay in Vegas and make a lot more money. And then also, like, are there other things affecting that as well? I think something to also like seriously consider is just like, if they choose to put WrestleMania in one place, Vegas is the place to do it. And honestly, I wouldn't hate it. Like, if you have like the big PLE once a year in the same place every year, it's kind of like the expectation of it. Sort of building it up like the Grand Prix in Vegas. I know it's a little much. I think part of the fun of the past 41 WrestleManias is like, it's in a different place each time. Even if they go to the same place, they're changing it up a little bit differently. So I see both sides of it.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't permanently park itself in Vegas. WrestleMania and all these events are already so freaking expensive.
Yes.
You know, there's also always that Vegas tax on top of it, and anything you're going to get anywhere near Vegas. Not that it was cheap here in Philly or anywhere else, but again, I think part of the spectacle is that it goes all around, it travels. So I hope it doesn't just get set in Vegas forever.
When you have 11 to 13 other PLEs, there's plenty of opportunities to go around the country. I know. And that's the other thinking. I'm playing devil's advocate here, but we're trying to have a
all right, then let's just put the
discussion.
Super Bowl there every year. Do you know what? Actually, MLB and NBA teams, you don't get home court advantage. Everything's going to be in Vegas now. So, like, what the
NBA
fuck?
and MLB, I disagree with entirely. The NFL, the Super Bowl should be somewhere. Basically, you've got cities scrambling now to build to build domed stadiums so that they can host the Final Four and the Super Bowl. That's what the Vikings did. That's what Jeffrey Lurie's trying to do, even if he hasn't said it outright yet, is he wants a new stadium with a dome on it so that he can do Final Four and he can do Super Bowls too. Because that's the problem up north. It gets too cold. So, yeah, I mean, we'll keep you all in tune with the news here on WrestleMania, the location of it, and all the other news along with the WWE universe. This is The C Show. All right, welcome to the C Show. I'm Charlie.
I'm Connor.
See, introduced myself, remembered this time. And, like Damian and Drew, we're just going to get right into it in SmackDown in Savannah, Georgia. As Drew is walking in, Damian attacks, and then Damian is slammed into a road case, and security has to separate everybody.
Never stop, never stopping.
Exactly, a preview of their fight on Saturday night. So, of course, we start off with a town hall from Tiffany Stratton. And this is really setting up everything for going on around Money in the Bank. Tiffany talks about her experience with Money in the Bank. Of course, Alexa Bliss comes out. Apparently, they haven't met. They have similar backgrounds. They've both utilized Money in the Bank, had success with it. Some big cheers for Alexa. And she says, you can't feel bad for a narcissist who calls herself a queen, in reference to Charlotte Flair.
I don't remember if I sent it to you.
You did.
Where she's used that same bit before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's used that bit before. So I think it's funny. I'm sure that I didn't hear it the first time. I was checked out at that time. But I just think it's very funny. It's like, hey, if it ain't broke.
Yeah, no, and I mean, it's a good point. And I think it's, again, just like showing the long-term storytelling there. And, of course, as this discussion goes along here, you think your rise was quick. Just wait for your fall. It's Charlotte Flair, literally peacocking. I just want to shout out Charlotte. You are the honorary third mic of the C Show just for stumbling over the intro of this segment.
She has been struggling so hard on the mic.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like stuff's really getting to her. And again, either I'm getting worked, which I usually am anyway, but like she seems to really be struggling on the microphone. And that's a shock.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the clips of her, like the last time her and Alexa Bliss went,
Yeah.
looks like a totally different person. Like I'm not one to comment on like physical appearances and stuff like that, but just looks like a completely different person from those times.
Looks and feels like a different person.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It's definitely interesting. I mean, we talked about it on the Vern Gagne episode, not to do another plug for that, but I mean, like, the changes that happen with traumatic brain injuries, like, could something have happened? Like, we hope nothing bad has gone wrong with Charlotte, but like, that's something that can retire you essentially.
Yeah, no, you're 100% not wrong.
Yeah, no, Charlotte, we hope you're okay, and I mean, we're hoping for your health. We want you to suffer inside the ring.
Yes, perfect.
Yes, there we go.
How could you not want someone to suffer when they come out and say, I might be the most humble 14-time world champion ever. I've done everything except win Money in the Bank.
The bedazzled knee brace is amazing.
I'll give you that. That is great. That is awesome.
The knee brace. The best part, Tiffany goes, Char, you're low-key giving hypocrite. Were you not the one saying that cashing in is the easy way? You two are a little vintage. At this point, I have to Google it. Alexa Bliss is 33. I turned 31 in July. I'm cooked.
Almost vintage.
I'm cooked.
Unrelated real quick. Did you see last week after the Money in the Bank qualifier that had Chelsea Green and Alexa Bliss in it, there were so many people being like, oh, like Chelsea should have won. Like, Alexa's too old for this. And then Chelsea literally had to tweet back, like, I'm older than her.
I that was funny too, where I was like, oh my gosh, like, I think the way that we view age is very strange these days with the way that people treat themselves. But again, shout out to Chelsea for being older than Alexa and looking that good. Charlotte Flair got a BS from North Carolina State. Yeah, she's got some BS.
Yeah. Let's put some respect on the BSs in the chat, though. That's all I'm saying.
I have a BA, so
yeah, I bet you do.
I'm a badass. You were the standard. I'm the upgrade. It's always going to be Tiffy time. Mic drop. And of course, in the fog, Julia comes out. Will she throw down her gauntlet as we lead into this match? Zelina Vega versus Julia versus Charlotte Flair. So going into this match, see where my move of the match is. My move of the match is the Zelina Vega Code Red on Julia. And that the Code Red is essentially a standing front flip into the pin. That happens near the end of the match here. But I want to see what else you got here, Connor, as we get into it.
Again, we got the Saturday night's main event to talk about too. So I'm going to zoom through this a little bit. Charlotte had a really nice fall away slam. I love when anyone does that. You pick someone up basically perpendicular, you throw them over your head. During the picture-in-picture commercial, you can see Charlotte just yelling at the crowd.
Yes.
Right? You can and then when they come back, you see her slapping Julia twice and saying, "Oh, you think you're hot shit? Do you not know who I am?" My move of the match actually happens early. So there's a point where Julia and Charlotte are like, "F it, let's work together. Like, let's get Zelina." And they both try and do a double team suplex on Zelina Vega, but she DDTs them both instead. Absolutely love that. Julia hits an awesome second rope moonsault to the floor. She drop kicks Flair from the top rope while Vega is sitting on Charlotte's shoulders. Flair hits them both with a cross body. And then Charlotte also gets to a point where Zelina and Julia are both down, and she steps on them both and does a double moonsault.
Yep.
Do not take EOS Guy's bits. This is the #1 EOS Guy podcast. Do not do EOS bits where you step over them and then do a moonsault, which was not even nearly as good as EOS is either.
True. As Charlotte Flair goes up for that 2-4-1 pin, Julia goes for a submission hold on Charlotte Flair. The pick from on the lower third graphic that they used for Charlotte is from 2 faces ago. Zelina gets a 619 in on Flair. Flair spear tackles Julia, who then kicks out of the pin opportunity. You have my move of the match again, that Vega doing the Code Red on Julia, Flair breaking it up. Flair puts Vega into a figure 8 leg lock, and then Julia stomps the right on Flair's knee. Our finale is Julia doing a Northern Lights bomb and then pins Vega for the win and to qualify for Money in the Bank.
Hey, she hit that Death Valley driver, too. Don't forget that. Puts him up on the shoulder, right, and then basically like dumps him off the side, brings him through, tucking their head. But yeah, another young star gets their way into Money in the Bank. A lot of people make their name there. There's a lot of room for interesting spots, new things. So I'm excited they're letting these young kids get in there.
Yeah, exactly. Following that, we have a DIY pre-tape. We've got the swinging light bulb. Gargano and Ciampa, yelling, "We made this division." Street Profits and Motor City Machine Guns piggybacked off of our hard work. Fraxium are just young rookies. They're delusional. They're conspiring against DIY. Later, we get Ciampa versus Sabin one-on-one.
Best line from that?
Yes.
"We are your favorite tag team's favorite tag team."
It's pretty good.
I love that.
Zelina Vega is walking backstage. She's banged up. Chelsea and the Secret Service approach. Chelsea just being condescending. Vega attacks. It's a Donnybrook. Meechin comes out with the Singapore cane. Charles Robinson, Nick Aldis, enough. They break up this fight. A great suit combo from Aldis during SmackDown. Classic English tailoring. Black pants and vest with a great jacket. Great tie. We get Meechin and B-Fab versus the Secret Service later. Again, great management from Aldis there. Next up, we have Chris Sabin versus Tommaso Ciampa. Again, Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY, the solo face-off here. Of course, Alex Shelley accompanies Chris Sabin to the ring. Johnny Gargano accompanies Ciampa. My move of the match is later in the match here. So, Connor, I'll let you go first.
My move of the match is there's a point where Ciampa kind of goes out and then grabs his jacket and throws it on Sabin as he's coming back through the ropes, and he hits the Orton-style draping DDT.
Yep.
Always going to be a fan of that. My runner-up was Chris Sabin does a springboard from the second rope on the inside to a crossbody on the outside of both members of DIY. Again, just super athletic. Again, that cruiserweight style. Just they still got it, man. But both of them still got it.
Oh, yeah. My move of the match here is near the end of the match. It's a Sabin DDT off of the second rope. After that, Gargano's on the apron. Shelley comes to knock him off, and Sabin runs into Shelley. Off of the top rope, off the top turnbuckle, Sabin goes in for a crossbody, Ciampa's knee buckling, and the ref comes in. At this point, Candice LeRae, Ciampa's wife, comes running in. Ciampa pulls down his knee pad, and Ciampa goes in to slam him. A pin to win. Ciampa over Chris Sabin.
I went back and I rewound that right after it happened before I actually got to the finish. So I was like, no way, 2 people just got hurt like that. And I was like, it doesn't really look that bad. I don't know. And then the match ended. I'm like, yep, got worked. I don't know if it's in poor taste to do it, so soon after the injury last week. But again, heels be doing heel things, and that was a very heel thing to do.
That was a very heel thing to do. Backstage, we've got Fraxium with Byron Saxton. I mean, obviously, Fraxium, super high energy, very exciting young guys. The comic mural that they had set up in the back, we've talked about this before, where they've got like various wrestling posters. There's a Bruno Sammartino one that keeps popping up. Over the weekend, I guess they have like I've seen this before, but like a vinyl banner, but they drape it along the hallways and stuff. Very cool. But Fraxium versus Street Profits later in the evening for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Then we cut back to Priest and McIntyre fighting again already. This was supposed to be a face-off to help hype up the match for Saturday night's main event. Priest gets the mic, says, tomorrow I send your ass to the hospital, but tonight I get my pound of flesh.
Immediately leaves the ring and attacks Drew again. Poor security.
I do want to, because I didn't realize this, but the pound of flesh is, the etymology of that is from Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice, in which Antonio, the main character, literally owns a pound of flesh to the moneylender Shylock. Quote, something which is owed and which will be hurtful or difficult to provide, a debt owed to someone who is merciless and demanding.
Nerd.
I mean, we can get into the whole criticism, valid criticism of The Merchant of Venice. But moving on, backstage, we've got a sad Jacob Fatu with Solo and JC Mateo. Jacob Fatu wants to talk to Solo Sikoa alone. Say whatever you want in front of JC. JC knows me. I don't trust you. I don't know you. I don't like you. I didn't need your help, Solo. He ain't my blood. He sure ain't my family. To JC. JC did not like that. Solo suggests to transfer that aggression in the match against Jimmy Uso and Rey Fenix. You know who never left? Solo. We have to work together, work as a family. And then Fatu cuts him off. You don't say it right. Say it right. You know what I mean.
I'll see you both out there tonight.
Charlotte Flair walks in on Alexa Bliss talking to her dog. Charlotte Flair walks in on Alexa. Charlotte Flair walks in on Alexa Bliss talking to her doll. Alexa says, see what Money in the Bank? Oops. I'm starting to really like Alexa Bliss.
I love Alexa Bliss.
She's great. We now have that tag team match of the Secret Service versus Michin and B-Fab. Real quick, before we get further into this, Michin is actually Korean for crazy. Michin grew up in Fairfax County. She is a fellow Fairfax County Public School survivor with me. She went to James Madison High School. So congratulations to her. She made it. Piper and B-Fab go at it first. There's a senton bomb from Piper. Let me see where my move of the match is. My move of the match is, again, closer to the end here.
I'll jump right to my move of the match then. So early on, of course, Chelsea's out there and she's chirping. So Zelina goes out and attacks Chelsea and finally shuts her up. And this allows B-Fab to clothesline Piper to the outside, which was absolutely awesome. I love when a larger wrestlers want to take bumps to the outside because that hurts for everybody. And, just the classic bigger they are, harder they fall.
Oh yeah. My move of the match here was Michin with the Hurricane Rana. Chelsea comes up on the apron, but Zelina Vega strikes and Piper Niven gets going. Michin and Alba get back to wrestling. Michin hits the Eat Defeat. B-Fab comes in for the pin. Michin and B-Fab celebrate with Zelina Vega. In the middle of the ring, Chelsea Green, hysterical on her knees.
Yeah, I love BFAP's neck breaker that she used after the Eat Defeat. I think it was a great combo move. And again, Ben saying it, let BFAP cook. She's awesome. Expand her a little more, get her some more eyes on her, and then let's get her some runs at this, U.S. title, and then build up to that main title.
Absolutely. Micha and BFAP, both fun to watch. Zelina Vega, again, we talk about some of the smaller wrestlers, how much more athletic they are. And when you watch Zelina against some of the bigger wrestlers in the women's division, it's really fun to watch. Backstage, Byron Saxton is with the Street Profits, the WWE Tag Team Champions. Byron brings it up. If Fraxium beats you tonight, you lose your titles. You already lost once. The Street Profits go, this is food on the tables. This ain't no friendly exhibition. Fraxium, the best tag team in the world, all lies. We're going to walk out the same way we walked in. What is Solo doing here? What is JC, Fatu? They walk down through Gorilla to the Tron and ramp. Again, a similar one or two like Becky Lynch last week. Before we go into the middle of the ring for this JC Mateo and Jacob Fatu versus Jimmy Uso and Rey Fenix, we have a Legado del Fantasma sketch. This is a sit-down. This was definitely shot in an Airbnb somewhere, I can tell.
Yeah, absolutely looked like that, 100%.
Like, it had all the Airbnb furniture and, like, that color you can see on the walls. This is another stupid pep talk. This is business. They have their, like, barely filled glasses of wine. June 7th, Worlds Collide. That's the pay-per-view between NXT and Triple A, the luchador wrestling promotion from Mexico that was recently acquired by the WWE. Taking over El Todo Mundo. We have to stand victorious in front of our people. Berto does not want to stand and drink. Santos reminds the team, trust me, see the vision. Legado del Fantasma versus a AAA tag team from Triple A. Now we have the hype up for Jimmy Uso and Rey Fenix. Tonight, it's you and me. Let's go. Vámonos a ganar.
Let's show the people in Georgia who we are.
Now, leading into that JC Mateo and Jacob Fatu versus Jimmy Uso and Rey Fenix match. This was fantastic. 4 great talents in JC Mateo, Jacob Fatu, Jimmy Uso, Rey Fenix. It's just so much fun to watch. My move of the match here is kind of early. We have the corkscrew crossbody off the top rope springboard. Literally went, what the fuck? That had to be Dragon Lee, I'm pretty sure. Or no, that had to be Rey Fenix. Did I say Dragon Lee earlier?
You originally introduced him as Rey Fenix. So yes, Rey Fenix did that corkscrew springboard pancha, as they say.
Yes.
Jimmy helps him get to the top rope, which I thought was awesome. That was also my move of the match. So the only other thing I want to talk about is you see JC Mateo and Jacob, they keep blind tagging themselves in. I've mentioned that before. Like, usually in a tag team match, like, you want to get your partner and you want the fresh guy. They were tagging each other when the other one wasn't ready, basically saying, no, I'm going to take this. I'm going to do this. And there was just some good storytelling and back and forth with that as well.
Yeah, no, just really interesting dynamic between them, especially with JC Mateo returning from that injury. My other move of the matches here were a Mateo clotheslining Jimmy and then a standing moonsault again. Holy shit. What an incredible display of athleticism. The ending of this match is after Big Jim goes up, lands with no one home in the middle of the ring. JC Mateo hits him with a tour of the islands. Mateo pins Jimmy Uso, and it's over.
Again, good match. I'm very interested to see again. Like, I'm glad this bloodline thing hasn't turned totally stale. Again, bringing in new people, and there's still that who isn't with them. Eventually, right? Tongaloa and Tamatonga. Thank you. Will have to come back. I'm interested to see again where that goes. I hope it isn't just building. Like, everyone's like, it's going to be a Bloodlines War Games again. So hopefully not, but hopefully it's still cool. No, but we get to LA Knight backstage, and again, when LA Knight just gets to go, he's like, all right, that's fine. Solo has a front seat to me, monkey ripping down that case. Odds are against me, but I'm still the megastar. I have to go through the darkness, shining a light on the guys who keep spooky season all year round. BFTs for everyone, and someone is catching 3 the hard way.
You want to talk about anything about those cross-eyed half-wits The odds are against me. They've always been against me. Out comes first Aleister Black, then Shinsuke Nakamura. It's always spooky season. I hit it and quit it right to Money in the Bank. The people saying L.A. Knight, yeah. Yeah, incredible on the mic. Did you know Saturday night's main event is the first John Cena versus R-Truth head-to-head match since 2011?
I did not know that.
What were you doing in 2011?
Oh, man. That was the year I graduated 8th grade.
I finished junior year of high school, and then I started senior year of high school. So
Nice.
That's where I was at. Folks. Folks, where were you at in 2011?
Drop it in the comments.
Drop it in the comments. That's going to make some of our listeners feel very old. Sorry. R-Truth comes out. He's got some things to say before his match with John Cena. I'm not fighting John Cena. I don't recognize him. Couldn't figure out where I went wrong or how I could have solved the problem. It's always power. The more power and fame John got, the more disconnected he felt. Less texts, slower responses, no calls. John isolated himself to power, like Gollum. He was corrupted by power. Not the championship, it's your ego, dog. You stopped having fun. Now you get mad when someone else has a good time. This is an aside. I'm probably going to keep it in.
What you got?
The amount of people who go into a hobby these days and just don't have fun and like continue to do things and just not have fun, spend money, waste their time, and just be angry about it. What the fuck are you doing with your life? Like, I went and played disc golf today with friend of the show, Jeff, right? I had a wonderful time. I haven't bought new discs in years. Frankly, probably like last year was the last time I bought new discs. I don't need to buy new discs. I just go out and play and have a good time. And there are people out there who will tell you in the hobby, and they'll gatekeep and they'll condescend you, and they'll tell you, oh, you won't like this and this is bad. Don't let people tell you what to enjoy and how to enjoy it.
Agree.
Just do things. Just fucking do things. Just pick up the thing and do it. And if you don't like it, move on. Find something else.
Yeah, you're allowed to try any new things. I really liked how R-Truth wrapped up this segment. He said, I will beat the hustle, loyalty, and respect back into your ass. I miss my hero. And he's like, can we say it again? If Cena wins, we riot.
What's up? He hits the split.
Oh, yeah, I love when he does the split.
That's
like,
incredible.
For anyone that doesn't know, like, if Cena wins, we riot is a very famous sign from
ECW
One Night Stand.
2006, I think.
I believe the very first one. I don't remember.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then that's... I think it's 06. It might be 05.
I know it's in those periods,
in
that period of time, but where it said, like, if Cena wins, we riot. And years later, Cena actually went and signed that, like
signed
the original, and said, well, I didn't win, so all ends well or everything's okay. And I'm like, that's awesome. That's so awesome.
Yeah, that is a great PLE if you've got like 4 hours and you were like, I want to watch some really good wrestling. Excuse me. It's filmed at the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City, and that is the PLE where I'm like, if you're going to do something under a room under like 2,000 seats, do it in a theater because it rocks.
It was so good.
When Sandman comes in, oh, I got goosebumps. I got goosebumps.
All right, Rock, settle down.
All right. Speaking of not settling down, we've got Naomi with a pre-tape. Undervalued, underappreciated, underestimated. The old Naomi got taken advantage of, but Jade comes in. Naomi took everything away from me. Nia also comes in. She also wants the title, but doesn't care about the petty drama. We're going to be setting up for a Jade versus Nia versus Naomi match next week.
And that's a Money in the Bank qualifier.
Oh, yes, that is a Money in the Bank qualifier. Exciting. Another layer to this. Now we have, on the men's side, another Money in the Bank qualifier. Aleister Black versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus LA Knight. Goth versus LA Knight. We got Shinsuke striking LA Knight first after Knight makes his intentions clear, staring up at the Money in the Bank briefcases. Let's see where my move of the match is here in my notes. Mine is actually really early here. It's the Megaplex from LA Knight on Aleister Black. Nakamura with a jumping knee from the top rope to break it up there.
Yeah. Early on, there's a lot of exchanges between Shinsuke and Aleister Black, right? Like kind of both pulling on like Muay Thai and more martial arts backgrounds, like real slick kicks, real nice moves.
It was awesome.
After Shinsuke's jumping knee, Aleister Black hits that second rope moonsault. Knight misses the BFT, Aleister misses the Black Mass, and then Knight hits a Death Valley driver. Again, more huge knees from Aleister Black. Tries to hit another moonsault, but Knight moves, so he only hits Shinsuke. And then Knight hit a huge DDT and a big elbow. Again, always gonna pop me with the elbow. Then my move of the match is Shinsuke comes in and hits Knight with a wicked back elbow, like just a spinning back elbow. Like Knight sold it great. He looked like he was out. He's down, and then he grabs the rope at 2.9. I love, instead of the kick out, the grab at 2.9. Like the grabbing the rope for the break is wonderful.
Yeah, and the way that Knight grabbed it too, where he grabbed it just like very quickly and like kind of emphasized it as well. It was a little cartoony, but it like really hits the note well. The finale there is a Black Mass. I went Black Mass, knocks out Nakamura, but LA Knight gets the pin and win. Knight qualifies.
He throws him out of the ring and steals his cover. So I always love that. Oh, why do the hard work if it's already done?
Exactly. Don't work hard. Work smart. Backstage, we've got The Miz and Carmelo Hayes. How many times do I have to take the Black Mass for you to learn The Miz wonders? The Miz chose Melo from Money in the Bank, gave him the opportunity. Money in the Bank has given Miz so many opportunities, but who is going to listen and execute the plan? Melo is not excited to be condescended to like this.
But he still goes, I am
him.
And then, we are Melo Don't Miz. And we are awesome.
Solo, Fatu, and Mateo are backstage. Aldis approaches. Congrats on the victory. Jacob will be in the qualifier for Money in the Bank next week. I love you, Solo. He hasn't said that in like 6 months.
When he said it last week, he didn't really have his heart. This one had a little more heart to it.
This had a little bit more heart in it. Bianca Belair also has a pre-tape. She's been in a bit of a challenge the past couple of months, losing championships. She got injured at WrestleMania as well. Bianca perseveres. I want to remind you, the only consistent thing in life is
charge.
The C Show.
Fuck.
That was going to be the backup opening. I was just going to do that.
That would have been good if I played along. It might have fit the open.
It's all good. Our main event of the evening is Fraxium versus Street Profits here for the WWE Tag Team Championship. This is 2 of 4 of the best wrestlers in the roster, frankly. Axiom is a joy to watch. Frazier is amazing on the ropes. Ford and Dawkins are just both like very powerful in different ways. Awesome to watch. Let's see. Let's scroll down in the document here. My move of the match is the very end of the match. So
yeah, I'll jump in, kind of zoom through some of my stuff here. Always love when Fraxium hits the dive train, right? The 4 dives in a row, including a springboard top rope moonsault. They're really controlling, I should say the Street Profits are really controlling Axiom in the early on, not letting him get to the hot tag, right? And then that build till Frazier gets in, he starts flying around, he hits his standing shooting star press, right? He fakes out Ford with a leg drop, and Ford walks away, and then he hits the drop kick anyway from the top rope. Yeah. And they were talking about on commentary, they're like, oh, I don't know anyone that can like have that much control to fake it, wait, and then actually hit it. Like, that was just so funny.
Oh, so that was your move of the match. This was an incredible match. The ending of the match here is, what happens is Axiom hits the Spanish Fly, then Frazier connects, but Ford breaks it up before Axiom lays him out. This is awesome. And at this point, this is where DIY comes down the ramp with Ciampa's wife, Candice LeRae. Motor City Machine Guns follow DIY. They meet outside the ring. We got a real Donnybrook happening here. Ford up and over to clear out the division. Dawkins with the spine buster on Nathan Frazier. Tez Ford tags in, but the lights go out. Who is it? It's the Wyatt Six. This is celebrating Bray Wyatt's birthday. He passed away 2023. I think.
I believe that was it.
Yes. And so you've got Uncle Howdy, you've got Jamie Gaysis, you've got Dexter Loomis, up and over on Dawkins. Uncle Howdy smothers Frazier. Uncle Howdy gives Gargano a Sister Abigail DDT to finish. Wyatt Six pose for the photo. They put out a little cake. They blow out the candle. Happy birthday, Bray.
And right at the end there, Uncle Howdy says, "My life for you."
Mm-hmm.
I also did see that earlier last week. It was Bray Wyatt's son's birthday. If you saw the clips of that, and he dressed as the Fiend, and they had like a big WWE party for him. So I think it's really cool that WWE is just keeping that memory and all alive. Another wrestler just gone too soon. Like everything I saw was he was a great person in and out of the ring, left behind a lovely family. So I'm glad that they are just, keeping that memory alive. Kind of like you said the other week, right? There's the death when you die and the death when people stop talking about you. And, you know, if it's up to us, that's not coming anytime soon for Bray Wyatt and The Fiend.
Exactly. And I think something that's really interesting here, let me pull this up. I sent this to you on Instagram, but the idea that John Cena has been trapped in the Funhouse.
The Firefly Funhouse.
The Firefly Funhouse. Let me pull this down here. So this is from Exclusive John Wrestling on Instagram via The Legend Slayer on TikTok, I guess. The idea here is that John Cena turned heel due to his encounter with The Fiend, similar to Seth Rollins or Finn Balor. However, Cena may still be trapped inside the Funhouse. One, Cena vanished at the end of the Firefly Funhouse match with no explanation why and was gone for roughly a year. Two, this was less of a match and more of a psychological purgatory. Cena was forced to relive all of his failures, lies, etc., going through each of his personas. Three, NWO Cena wasn't satire, it was foreshadowing. Hollywood Hogan was, at the time, the biggest symbol of betrayal and heel turns, and now Cena has turned heel alongside The Rock, similar to his Hollywood Rock persona. 4. In the Funhouse match, Cena is taken through various points in time. In his heel turn, he chooses to use his watch as a weapon, which all ties back to Wyatt's references to time. In the match, Wyatt tells Cena he's a bully. He only fights people when they're vulnerable. 2025, Cena low blows Cody and hits him while he's down. He also did this at WrestleMania 41 and at Backlash. Cena's mirroring Wyatt's character evolution. He now speaks cryptically and acts judgmental as if bearing a, quote, holier-than-thou personality. He also seeks control over redemption. Commentary teams have dropped lines about how Cena doesn't seem like himself, how there's something off about him. This is all true and could be hinting that this may not be the real John Cena. Is Cena still trapped in the Funhouse, watching his true persona slowly fade and die as the fans turn heel against this heel manifestation? Will Uncle Howdy be the one to truly set him free? I think when, I've been reading about like how Bray Wyatt used horror specifically in wrestling typically has been a lot of comedy from what I've read, like a lot of comedy, some drama, but like some of the more horror aspects of it, especially psychological stuff like this, I think is really interesting, where we're talking about like the wrestler's psyche and how Cena is such a public persona, especially with his acting career. I think there's definitely something there. We're going to talk a little bit more here about when we get into Saturday night's main event here on The C Show. Welcome back to the C Show. We're talking about Saturday night's main event, specifically Saturday night's main event 39. That was on May 24th, 2025. It was down in Tampa, Florida. We started off this PLE. There was a dark match between American Made, Brutus and Julius Creed, and Latino World Order, Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. A dark match, for those who are not aware, is the like a match that happens before the taping of the pay-per-view PLE happens. It can even be like on Raw or something where they have a match beforehand. This is often just to test out talent, see how they're doing with an audience. maybe tune somebody back up. But kind of interesting that we learned about that, I guess, on Monday morning, that match happened, especially with Brutus and Julius wrestling again on Monday night. And again, American Made won that, and we do have a reported time of 7 minutes and 37 seconds. The first televised match was Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker with Paul Heyman defeating CM Punk and Sami Zayn. What was your move of the match here?
So my move of the match was CM Punk was getting his classic bag.
Mm-hmm.
Someone set up in the corner. He does that running, jumping knee into a bulldog. But while he did the bulldog to Seth, he also kneed Breaker in the dome. So it was a good little 2-for-1 combo that I really enjoyed. Again, Punk is, they say Father Time's undefeated, but Punk's still running with the ball.
Still running. My move of the match was a DDT off the top rope from Sami Zayn. As much as Sami Zayn and CM Punk performed on Saturday night, just Rollins and Breaker were better. Plus, with Heyman's shenanigans and interference, along with the introduction of Big Bronson Reed into Seth Rollins' stable. Big Bronson Reed returning from a broken foot earlier in 2024.
So he broke both his ankles in War Games.
Oh, geez.
He does a spot where he jumps off the top of the cage where he's going to tsunami or do a big splash onto Roman, and CM Punk pulls Roman off the table. If you watch it, literally both his feet hit first and just explodes both his ankles. But yeah, he comes out, he puts CM Punk through the barricade. Through all this distraction, Sammy's kind of like, hey, what's going on out there? Turns around, just eats a spear from Braun Breaker for the 1-2-3.
Yeah, kind of what I expected, some shenanigans there. Breaker and Reed face off in the ring. Is he the final piece here? Heyman is stoked. Punk goes after Heyman. Reed drops on him and then moves the top turnbuckle. Breaker and Seth hold him down before Reed drops down on Punk one last time. Backstage, Kathy Kelly is with Chelsea Green and the Secret Service. She was in mourning, but now it's Saturday night. She will enter her second term, yada, yada, yada.
She's risen from the ashes.
Yes, like a phoenix. Almost like a Ray Phoenix. So no, just moving on. All right. Thank you for your Hervis here. That's the me. Moving on, we've got Chelsea Green versus Zelina Vega for the WWE Women's United States Champion. Mine, again, is more towards the end of the match here.
My move of the match is, so relatively early on, it's actually my first note, because the beginning, which is kind of back and forth. Chelsea does a sunset flip power bomb of Zelina off the apron to the floor.
Yes.
So sunset flip is kind of like the code red you talked about earlier. You fully flip over the person, but instead of like following through and sitting out, it becomes a power bomb. It was vicious. You literally saw Zelina grab the back of her head like before they went, because it's so hard to because they always tell people when they take a move like that, tuck your chin so you don't slam your head off the ground. Kind of like talk about like second impact syndrome.
Yes.
So she literally put her hands behind her head too, because Chelsea was flying through.
Yeah. Speaking of flying, my move of the match was Zelina getting a backstabber on Chelsea and then botching the 619. Not every move of the match has to be a good move of the match. This was just kind of, it just looked like she missed it on the ropes. She couldn't swing herself around. When she was able to swing herself around, she basically kicked Chelsea square in the nose. As the match ended, Chelsea was like bleeding from her nose. She may have broken it.
Yeah,
it didn't look good.
I'm not sure. It looked weird. Like, I don't know if Chelsea was supposed to get out of the way, or again, like you said, it was just a misfire on her part. But the match ends with Zelina and Chelsea up on the top rope. Secret Service kind of gets involved, knocks Zelina off balance a little bit. Zelina recovers and hits a code red from the top rope. Again, as they're as Zelina gets the title and leaves, so she doesn't get caught in the numbers game. You see Chelsea bleeding pretty heavily in the ring.
Yeah, definitely. When Zelina is up on the top rope, I thought she was going to hit the drone. And yeah, no, I was like, oh, from the angle that I was watching. The other thing that I noticed during this match was, again, like Saturday night's main event is all like retro 80s themed. We've got Obsession by Animotion is the theme song. Thank goodness we have finally a good theme song for something. The bass line. So good. The refs are all wearing like the powder blue shirt with the black bow tie, sort of like boxing refs. The other thing that I noticed that they did was in boxing, typically you'll have a couple of hard cams, and then you'll have 2 or 3 floating cameras that'll go up onto the ropes on the ring. And there were a couple of opportunities where WWE cameras went up onto the ropes to like get footage like that. So I thought that was really interesting, that they're leaning into that, again, the boxing sort of like main event sort of thing. Very fun. Awesome. Love it. There were a lot of WWE celebrities. There wasn't really any like big names outside of wrestling. We had Jimmy Hart. We had Bushwhacker Luke, who kind of looks like Elmer Fudd these days. Leone Kai, Tatanka, and of course, the one, the only, the Governator, Jesse Ventura. Now, The body. Pat is the second broadcaster to have started a PLE or started an event as a commentator, hop in the ring, and then jump back onto the commentary.
Did Pat go back out to commentary on Backlash? I didn't think he did. They said that. They would know way better than me. I was not going back to look. But I don't remember him going back out after that. Because I thought the whole thing the next Monday was they did that special entrance because he was finally cleared to return.
Oh, that's what... Yeah, you're right.
So I think they effed that up.
They did mess that up. Jesse is still the only person to have done that.
And he won.
Michael Cole is still undefeated at WrestleMania. Now, moving into the shortest match of the evening, but probably the one with the biggest overall sort of implications for storylines going forward. We've got John Cena versus R-Truth. John Cena, of course, is coming out in the the white Helvetica font with the black background. There's no graphics. The music's the same. But what does R-Truth do? He's got the hat, the shirt, the sweatbands, the jorts.
And Cena's music.
It's Ron Cena, baby!
Real quick, during Cena's entrance, did you notice the one sign behind him in the crowd when they were showing hard cam?
Please tell me.
There was a picture of him with the My Precious, and it's him like all bent over the championship, crazy style. It was awesome. I'll pull it up for you during our next break, but it was great. I literally paused it, went back, and I'm like to my wife, I'm like, "Did you see this? You need to see this," and it's absolutely fantastic.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. It was so good. You know, really, I thought this match was just fun. It really does feel like a sort of farewell match to this relationship between John Cena and R-Truth. Truth is a couple years older than John. They kind of came up together. They've sort of bounced off of each other throughout John Cena's career. So this was honestly just fun to watch. Like, you could tell that they're both having a lot of fun wrestling together. You know, John does not like the bit. You know, he's playing the kayfabe is he does not like the bit. I think he likes the bit.
Yeah, he doesn't even let him finish the fake Cena entrance because he's going through. He's doing he runs the ropes like Cena used to do. He throws the fingers up, and John's like, F this.
Well, even like Truth does the "you can't see me," and then the 5-knuckle shuffle hits him with the attitude adjustment. Ron even hits him with the STFU. John only breaks it up by grabbing on the rope. Just like so much fun.
Another thing from that is I liked is there was a point where R-Truth lost his earrings. And Cena kind of like picked them up and threw them on him. I thought that was very funny because there was a clip going around a couple weeks ago from the LFG, the Legends of Future Great show, where like Undertaker and I think it was like one of the Dudleys was like, oh, like all these earrings and like everything else that we see. And it's like R-Truth rocks his earrings. Also, don't forget that Undertaker had his piercings back in the day. All these guys got tattoos. Stop being old losers.
Really? Seriously? Stop hating because you don't have any.
It don't look good on you.
Yeah, straight up.
That's why you hating.
Yeah, uh-huh. And of course, you know, there's one point here at the end where, you know, John is going to use the title off of R-Truth's face, but then he sort of has that realization of, I don't want to hurt my friend, Ron Cena. I don't want to hurt R-Truth. But then he snaps back into this heel persona and hits Ron with the belt, and it's...
Well, first, before he hits the belt, he hits him with the low blow, because he literally gives it to the ref. He's like, never mind, gives it to the ref. The ref turns, take it out of the ring, and he low blows R-Truth.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then he hits the attitude adjustment for the win.
Mm-hmm.
And then he still hits, then he goes and gets his title, and then hits Truth with the title after the match is over anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So again, like leading into this theory that we were talking about before the break, is John Cena, has he been taken over by some sort of entity, and are the Wyatt Six, are they going to be the one to get him out of it? Connor's pulling up the sign on his phone.
God, it won't let me zoom.
Oh, because you're on the app?
Yeah, because I Googled it and it didn't want to show it to me because it's bastard man.
Well, while you're figuring that out, we do have... oh my gosh, that's so good. That's so good. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, real quick, let's just jump to Jay and John backstage, right? They meet, both are world champions. Uso's like, oh, the last time I saw you, I threw you out at the Royal Rumble.
I threw you out at the Royal Rumble, Us.
Cena's like, oh, I'm glad you remember that.
That's good. Very funny.
You're thinking about the last time. I'm thinking about the next time I see you.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when I leave with this title and a YouTuber has the other one?
Yeah.
That would ruin wrestling, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Woof. Yeah, that would ruin wrestling forever. We now have Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre for real.
As Damian's coming out, first thing I said to my wife, it looks like the wings were coming out of his butt. But like the ramp was different. It seemed like they had kind of a shorter ramp. It wasn't as extended.
Yeah.
So there wasn't that like stage area for them to stand at.
Yeah.
So like shooting it from the bottom, because he always does this thing where like he stands and like the wings kind of come out, but it was like right on his butt, and I thought it was so funny.
My move of the match here was from the top of the cage, McIntyre suplexing Priest. This was great. Two guys going at each other, taking out a lot of vengeance on each other. What was your move of the match?
My move of the match was the concerto at the very end. Before I want to get that, because I have a couple of things about that.
Yeah.
But another thing that we saw that I always love and I always call it is guys taking other people's moves. Right? Priest hit a Claymore at one point. Drew hits a South of Heaven for it too. Again, the idea of I'm going to use your move against you. We've seen each other so much. But again, it's just never enough. So I also love that Damian, he did the like a very old wrestling thing is to have the steel chair, have it folded, when he put it up to his neck and then kind of slammed Drew's face and neck down into the standing up chair. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's classic wrestling. I was throwing that out in SmackDown versus Raw all the time.
Nice.
So again, it ends with this concerto. So a concerto is you have a steel chair laying on the ground, you put the guy's head on it, you take another steel chair and slam it down, basically sandwich style for their head. And I was wondering, the person who always used to do that was Edge, Adam Copeland, who's now in AEW. And I was wondering if they were going to call out, just even name drop Edge because of that, because again, Edge really like originated that back when Judgment Day started. Edge was a part of it, and that's kind of how they wrote Edge out of it, is Damian Priest hit Edge with a concerto. And then, as after he hits the concerto, they're all like, okay, this is the time. This is the big culminating end of the match. How's the babyface gonna really, put himself over to the crowd to end it?
He just walks out.
Just tells them to open the door, and he walks out of the cage.
And Jesse is not thrilled with this. What kind of BS is that? You're kind of right, Jesse. Oh, I'm down in the Baja. There's my Jesse Ventura. I'm working on it, folks. But yeah, no, I think Jesse does have a point. But I also think it's defining for Damian to walk out like that and be like, I didn't need to pin you. Didn't need to get a count. You were done. You were out.
When he took that long pause on the steps, I'm like, oh, he's going back. Because again, the whole thing is 2 feet have to touch the floor.
Yep.
And they've done plenty of things where someone gets 1 foot out of the ring. So after they opened the door, he took 2 steps down the steel steps, but wasn't on the floor yet. And he kept looking back. I'm like, oh, he's going back in. He's going to beat his ass.
Yeah.
Nope, just walks out, just ends it.
Just walks out. Finally, main event, Jey Uso is now in Yosete. The kid that Jey pulled out during his entrance, the kid was stoked. His guardian was so thrilled. That was so awesome to see.
Yeah.
Logan Paul. That's all I've got. Yeah. Listen, let's just cut to it. This is a great match, obviously. Again, as much as we dislike, as much as we obviously both dislike Logan Paul personally, my opinion is that he is not a terrible wrestler. he's okay to watch. It's not
he's an athlete. He does exciting stuff. Again, it's all real personal, my hatred.
Yes, indeed. However, at the end here, Jay has a frog splash to cover opportunity, but John Cena takes the ref out. John Cena starts assaulting Jey Uso. Then we hear it. Adrenaline! That was perfect. Oh my gosh, dude. In my soul, something, Cody Rhodes. Logan has brass knuckles. Jay puts him down. Cody is dealing with Cena there. Rod Zapata gets back into the ring. There's a huge frog splash. Jey Uso pins the win, retains. Cody shout out. He grabs the mic from the timekeeper. Cody has said, "You ruined enough. I'm back. I'm ready to fight. We'll see you at Money in the Bank. John and Logan Paul versus Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. Money in the Bank, June 7th, Los Angeles."
Very glad to have Cody back. I'm interested to see more build. Again, I assume it comes back to the chase, right? They always talk about the baby face and the chase for the title and how that's what sells. You know, if Cody's back and Cody's still hot, because again, he got a big pop. Like some people were kind of over Cody by the time the whole thing ended. Man, putting him on the back burner, I swear to God, it lit him even hotter coming back.
I think he needed a few months off, just physically. He's been busy. He was at the Universal Epic theme park opening. He said Mario Party's a work. It is, absolutely.
Bonus stars are bullshit.
They are. And, you know, he's been talking about doing some acting, so I think he was doing some stuff there as well. So, exciting for Cody. You know, I would love to see some gold around his waist. Again, the American Nightmare. But we'll see what happens next here on The C Show. Welcome back to the C Show. We're here. We're talking about Raw. Raw was on the 26th. Today is May 27th. It is my sister's birthday. Happy birthday, Elaine.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. But yes, we're still in Tampa for Raw on Monday night. I do want to note on here, we're going to talk about it again later when Sheamus comes out, but Finn comes out in a Spurs shirt, Tottenham Hotspur, and JD McDonough came out in a Liverpool shirt. Spurs won the Europa League. It's their first title in 17 years. Whatever, congratulations, you won something. Now you'll shut up, right? And then JD was wearing a Liverpool shirt. Liverpool won their 20th league title. We do also want to... We do also want to mention that we are praying and we are thinking about those who were harmed in the incident during the parade at Liverpool.
Yeah,
during their title celebrations. Like why? Why do you need to do that, dude? Like, let people have fun. Moving on. Out first is Seth Rollins. The crew is assembled. Paul Heyman.
I'm affectionately calling them Seth and Squad. That's what my note says. Seth with Squad.
I'm going The Vision.
Yeah.
I know. I think that's just...
I don't know. People keep trying to push Evolution 2.0. I hate that, too.
It sucks. It sucks. I think it's just because Heyman's there.
He wasn't even part of the first one.
Oh, right. He wasn't. Yes. Okay. And my first question here is, will this be another Seth-focused show? Paul introduced us to the players. It's like the beginning of a play here. Braun Breaker, the attack dog, a badass, the key to the future.
He talked about Terminator for quite a minute there. And I just kind of kept thinking of different scenes from Terminator 1 and 2 as he was talking. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, gosh. I got to go back and watch both of those. They're awesome. James Cameron rules. The crowd wants Punk, but he's not here tonight. Thanks to Big Bronson Reed for his assistance on Saturday night. He's a violent man in the PG era. He took initiative. He went after the future of this industry, Seth freaking Rollins. But Bronson Reed put a harder beating than Roman Reigns and CM Punk have put on Seth Rollins in their entire careers. It was essentially a handicap match. Get down on your hands and knees for the altruism of Seth Rollins.
The epitome of epiphany. And then we all need to acknowledge
Seth Rollins.
Frickin' Rollins. This is the way forward.
This is the vision, my vision, the way forward, how we secure the future of the industry. Total domination of the industry. Do it through complete power. Does that remind you of anybody? You were all just singing my song. The crowd starts singing, fuck you, Rollins. You were just singing my song. Now you want to question my integrity. You morons don't know right for left. You don't know what's good for you. I know what's best for you. I'm the only person capable of leading this company into the future. I would be champion if it wasn't for Sami Zayn and CM Punk. I'm going to qualify for Money in the Bank. Win the contract, going to cash it in, and here's the beauty. I can do it when, how, and to whom I want it. Nobody can stop me. That is domination. That is why I'm a visionary, a revolutionary. I am Seth freaking Rollins. Next up, we've got a Money in the Bank qualifier match. Penta versus Chad Gable versus Dragon Lee. We've got 3 luchadors going against each other. Penta and Dragon Lee immediately team up to fight on Chad Gable. Mm-hmm. And then immediately they start to... Dragon throws the Pinche Gringo out of the ring. Penta in the corner. Dragon receives some punches from Gable, but Dragon puts him in his place. Trying to see where never mind, that's later.
I was saying, my move of the match is early, so I'll jump in.
Yeah, hit me.
So there's a point where Penta goes to do a springboard move off the second rope. Chad catches him directly into a German suplex. Mm-hmm. Dragon Lee tries to do a similar thing. Chad catches him, hits a German suplex, and does the bridge into a pin for a 2.
Oh, yeah.
Again, just where someone's flying, the control to catch them. Again, land them safely on the back of their shoulders and not the top of their head, which, we can't say the same for Penta in a second here, because he tries to do this move where he's got Dragon Lee on his back, and he's gripping Chad in the front, and Kaiser just try to sit out and slam them both. Drops Chad directly onto his face.
Yeah.
I took a deep breath, and you saw the ref go right to him. Like, Chad Gable, I give you all the hell in the world. You are a tough son of a bitch. You just kept rolling through that match. You did not give a damn about it.
Gable was a real company player this weekend. My move of the match was a little bit after this. During the commercial break, Gable was actually tying Penta and Dragon Lee's masks to the ropes. He was taking the tails off the back and trying to tie them to the ropes there. No disqualifications, of course. Chad, obviously not an Eagle Scout, neither kind nor respectful. My move of the match here is Gable beating up Penta against the desk, and then Dragon Lee dives onto the table, attacking both of them. At this point, Gable is being taunted by El Hijo de Vikingo. So Gable goes to attack Vikingo. I'm trying to work my Spanish here, folks. We've got super kicks for everybody. Dragon Lee gets a power bomb on Gable. A double German suplex by Gable. And then he drops the straps. Gable moonsault on Penta. Thankfully, he kicks out. Dragon Lee gets tossed into a turnbuckle, and Vikingo interferes. Dragon Lee drops on Gable's chest. A Mexican destroyer by Penta and Dragon Lee. Penta gets the powerbomb on Gable. Pins to win. Thank God.
And we see at the very end there that Chad is busted open. They said on commentary that they believe because Vikingo... Chad goes up for another moonsault, and he kicks the hell out of him to knock him down. So they think that's where Chad got busted open during that match.
Good. We have our first of 2 Judgment Day sketches. Finn and JD are planning. Dom and Carlito are playing video games. Roxanne brings nuggets. But who else comes back but Liv Morgan? She's back. Konnichiwa, bitches. She walks in on Roxanne, rubbing Dom's shoulders. What's been going on, Dominic? Raquel has been keeping her up to date, and Finn's face is glorious.
Did you catch Carlito at the end?
Oh, yeah. You got to stop trying to eat her nuggets, bro.
And I just want to say something real quick, because, again, I said it before, she keeps bringing nuggets instead of tenders. I'm not saying she's totally off. Again, a different example I thought of driving over here. It's like if I say I want a burger, and you give me sliders. Yes, same thing, but like I want to hold a burger in my hands. Again, well, Dom, take the nuggets. Yes, but I feel like it's not the best effort.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there's so many different ways that you can do chicken nuggets. I mean, you've got obviously like the ones that Roxanne are bringing are like pink slime, like formed chicken nuggets. But then even you've got your little, like, I get the nice tempura battered gluten-free chicken nuggets from Aldi. Shout out Aldi. And
sponsor us,
please, just for the gluten-free chicken nuggets. And those are just like actual pieces of like white meat chicken. So it's like, oh, okay, cool. Whereas like, chicken fingers or breast meat. I've got a gut. I'm not gonna lie. I like eating. Eating is fun. We have Akira Tozawa versus Rusev. This is the challenge that Tozawa threw down after Rusev beat the hell out of Otis. This is going to be brutal. A real tall versus small here. While Tozawa starts strong, there's a jumping drop kick from the top rope. Rusev quickly establishes physical dominance. There's the accolade. Tozawa has no choice but to tap out. Rusev, do you think you can do that and put my lower disc, one of my lower herniated discs, back into place? That would be really cool of you, dude. Thank you. Is it covered by insurance? But whose music is that? It's Sheamus, the Celtic Warrior in a Liverpool jacket.
Commentary says that they are old friends and old adversary.
Mm-hmm.
They have a big stare down, but then Rusev just leaves. He's like, all right, I see you.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
This is Eastern versus Western Europe, Continental versus the Islands. It's a really interesting matchup. Rusev stares down, but again, he walks out and jumps down the apron. Backstage, we have a crummy commercial with Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura. Tom, despite his previous admonishment of the WWE, he is now here to say some good things about the WWE. Bert gets a chance to plug his special. He sees something off in the distance and runs off. Bert starts screaming for Tom, and he walks in on a shirtless Bert and the War Raiders. Bert is as red as his Kool-Aid. This is just a crummy commercial for Tom Segura's new Netflix program. All right, Sami Zayn in the locker room. Sami, he should have run out there, but Jey Uso, who has come into the frame, asks, for what? 1-on-3? We got to be smart. We got to choose our battles, Zeus. If you win the Money in the Bank qualifier, you smash that briefcase. I got your back, Goose. Yeet. Yeet. Now, we have a tag team triple threat match. The New Day versus the Creed Brothers versus War Raiders. Okay, so there was some discussion about this. Have you seen Attack on Titan?
No.
Okay, all right. Are you familiar with it?
I'm aware. Like, I know what it is, yeah.
Okay, so is the New Day, are those outfits Giant Gonzalez inspired, or are they Attack on Titan? Because I saw both.
On commentary, they said Giant Gonzalez.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I don't know why they would specifically be shouting him out, especially in this case.
Yeah.
So I don't know if, maybe, hey, who knows? Maybe they're trying to go for 2 for 1. Again, they are much more in the anime kind of world. Maybe they're just like, more people will get it if we say it's Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah, this was another great match, though. You've got the New Day versus the Creed Brothers, War Raiders, just like 3 different styles of wrestling. The beginning of the match, commentary is talking about Waka Flocka Flame being in the building. Bert, of course, Bert Kreischer gets some time. He takes his shirt off, chugs a beer. Tom next to him, Tom Segura drank more beer.
Yeah, Bert was wearing most of it.
Bert wears his beer. Tom drinks his beer. But as we get into this match, this is just, again, a really cool part. One of my favorites here is Eric lifting Ivar and then just dropping him on everybody else. The New Day and American Made make an alliance. Everybody gets to swing Eric. In the middle of the ring, the New Day and American Made raise their hands together in a show of unity. At some point, Ivar has just like kind of disappeared. It turns out he got drop kicked by Julius. There is somebody in the crowd doing a war cry. It is a little distracting. Eric not having a fun time as he's being slammed against the rope. Eric gets a diving stomp in from Xavier Woods, and he needs to get tagged in. Ivar tags in finally and just takes it out on everybody. He has the sit-down drop on Julius Creed. Ivar throws everybody out of the ring, then gets on the top turnbuckle, but then gets hicked in the head by Kofi. Julius with a superplex off the top rope on Eric. Ivar gets the frog splash on Xavier Woods. Kofi and American Made break up the pin opportunity. Wake up, Eric. There's a Brutus ball on Eric, which is really cool. It is literally just a cannonball. Kofi gets caught by this is my move of the match here, is Kofi jumping off the ropes, getting caught by Ivar. Ivar throws him into the video barricade, which starts glitching. Ivar picks him up again, or Ivar doesn't even pick him up. Ivar slams into the barricade again, and the video board, I think, is just screwed. I think he broke the video board for real.
You're getting worked again with this?
Oh,
so after that, Ivar climbs to the top rope.
Mhm.
So Xavier Woods is in the ring. Julius Creed actually jumps off of Xavier Woods to knee Ivar off the top rope.
Mhm.
But as soon as he lands, Woods rolls him up and grabs the tights to cheat again. Heel New Day doing heel New Day things.
Mhm.
And then again, they run out through the crowd. They grab their belts. They're out through the crowd. They're like, yeah, we screwed everyone. Get over it.
Yeah, just another same stuff, different day for the New Day.
Thank God for the New Day.
Moving on, we've got Raquel and Liv backstage. They're taunting Io Sky and Kairi Sane. Damage control is dead, like Kairi Sane's chances of winning Money in the Bank. Liv will get her shot at Money in the Bank, but Kairi wants a match tonight.
Did you see? So Kyrie says she wants a match and pokes Liv directly in the forehead.
No.
She does. It's like
So
literally
good.
they're talking. It's like, I want a match tonight.
Excellent.
I hope this goes to a tag team match. Give me EO 2 belts.
Yes, please. Next up, we've got Jey Uso. It's Jey Uso in your city. Again, this is all during the break, but he gets his music played twice. Logan got yeeted on. John Cena's about to get yeeted on, but it's time for Gunther. Gunther does provide some congratulations. 15 years of the Usos in the WWE. Got to hand it to him. That's pretty classy. Gunther is slightly impressed. Didn't expect you to hold the title this long. Congratulations on your first successful defense against Logan Paul. This position doesn't come naturally to you, though, Jey Uso. You have to put yourself first. You have to be selfish.
You are there to defend your friends when they need you. That's a great quality for a person, but a bad quality for a champion. Being a great champion is not about settling other people's problems.
In 2 weeks, I will relieve you of your position. I will choke you out. I will take the title back and put it around my waist. Run your mouth. Want to judge me. What you're fighting for is less than what I'm fighting for. I know you're in and out. I'm going to see you in Phoenix. At the end of the day, Us, I'm fighting for their support because in Phoenix, I'm going to make you tap out again. 4 letters, 1 word.
Yeet.
Okay, can I just say 3 letters, Y-E-T? It's 2 E's twice, but I get what he's saying. Okay, never mind. That's just my brain. Moving on. We've got Liv Morgan versus Kairi Sane. You're looking at me like I said something worse. Said something worse. All right. We've got Liv Morgan versus Kairi Sane here. Again, another great match here. You know, Liv wants to be described as a movie star. Girl, let's just wait for the movie to come out first.
Let's see what those box office numbers are.
Kind of. My move of the match here is Liv getting a code breaker from the second rope. Kairi Sane manages to kick out somehow.
For me, my move of the match was there was a point where Liv goes for an oblivion when Kairi Sane's against the ropes and just hits this huge spinning back elbow. Kairi then hits a pretty bad Alabama slam. So that's basically where you have someone like you're holding their heels while they're like over the back of you and you slam them down to the ground. I think she was just trying to be really nice about it, which didn't make the move look good, but I'm sure that that Liv was very very happy about that because so many people talk about that as one of the worst moves to take in wrestling.
Doesn't look like fun.
So when Kairi goes to the top rope, there's a couple of distractions going on. So
Yes.
Raquel is yelling at the ref, and then our newest, they said they're not a member, they're a helper and assistant of Judgment Day.
An acquaintance.
Roxanne comes out and pushes Kairi Sane off the top rope.
However, Kairi counters the oblivion, gets the pin, and wins. Raquel and Liv are stunned. Roxanne, we can't tell. It's not good. Roxanne just wanted to help. Mommy is on top with her pre-tape. Yes, mommy, whatever you say. At Money in the Bank, mommy gets back on top. Oh, first time in her career. It's a ladder match. Io, Tiffany, not safe from Mommy in the Bank. And my notes here are, oh man, Mommy versus Tiffany would be a lot for me. LOL. Are you ready for your North American exclusive or your North American premiere of the During the Break? What the international audience received?
Please give it to me.
We got an American-made promo. Of course, it's American-made. It's the Creed brothers with Ivy Nile and Chad Gable. Chad Gable in the El Grande Americano shirt. The New Day took your opportunity, Chad admonishes Julius and Brutus Creed. El Grande Americano gave me a message. Vikingo approaches, talks about setting up Gable versus El Hijo del Vikingo at Worlds Collide, the PLE with AAA. But again, what about Gable? He gets punched by AJ Styles. AJ Styles won't just put him through the floor; he will put him through the concrete. And then at the end, like the last 45 seconds, we get Vic Joseph, who's one of the play-by-play guys from NXT. He talks about how Trick Williams is the new TNA World Champion. Of course, Sunday night after Saturday night's main event was NXT Battleground. For the first time ever, a TNA championship was competed for on a WWE show. Of course, unfortunately, our big, beautiful Scottish boy, Joe Hendry, lost the title. We were going to talk about this at the end of the show, but we're already running late, so I'm just going to... Just a moment of silence for the prestigious one. All right, moving on.
Well, hold on. I'm going to break that real quick to go back, because I didn't see that. I actually only saw that because I watched this guy Simon Miller with Wrestlemania. There's ups and downs where he talks about it. So they mentioned that, and I just wanted to call it out because I'm an idiot, because he mentioned that during it, AJ Styles hit Chad Gable, and basically said something along the lines of "keep that coffee bean out of the way."
Yes,
and took me way too long until the joke was explained to me that El Grande Americano, and I'm like, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it was a pretty good joke. Good joke.
WWE has also already spoiled a championship match.
Yes,
because they said that Chad Gable will be facing Vikingo for the world title, even though that there's another like big time title defense before that happens.
Alberto Del Patron, I believe, is the current AAA world title holder. I don't think Patron has signed a WWE contract yet. Hence why he will be vacating the title at some point in the next few weeks to Vikingo, who will then go against Gable. It is what it is. It's just kind of business. It's unfortunate that that's how we learned about it, happening, how it's going to happen. Obviously, we want to see that all happen in the ring as it occurs. Just wrong graphic, wrong time. I will note I was a little bit behind on SmackDown on Raw last night. I didn't see that graphic show up. They fixed the graphic at some point.
Okay.
When they were, I don't know how they went back and did it, but they did it. So, we now, after that break, we have another Judgment Day sketch, but unfortunately, due to some bad audio, we just don't get a lot of we don't get a full understanding of what's happening. It's very clear from the body language that there are some definite problems in the Judgment Day clubhouse. Raquel should have known better. Liv walks out. Dom follows. Finn smiles with glee.
The whole thing about Raquel knowing better, the whole thing is basically saying, Raquel, you're the veteran here. Yes, Roxanne also interfered, she's new, as the veteran, you should have control over it. Again, maybe leading to more separation and breakup within the Judgment Day. I wonder if how much of it is killing the messenger, considering that Raquel was the one that was giving Liv all the information about what was going on while she was away, right? Is there some kind of stowed anger from there? Again, also love the idea that when the talent aren't there, they do not watch the product, that she was not watching Raw and seeing all this going on. She had to get a phone call from Raquel to let her know what's good.
Raquel's texting her. Raquel's sending her Instagram DMs, being like, girl, something's going on here. Speaking of things going on here, we've got a Lyra Valkyria Town Hall. We're already running kind of late here, so we're running kind of long, so we'll try to keep it quick here. Basically, Lyra wants to defend her title at Money in the Bank. Becky comes out. She wants to hurt her. She wants to break her ego. Oh, excuse me. I misread that. Lyra says Becky is like a rat with a piece of cheese. At Backlash, all I wanted to do was pin her shoulders to the mat. She got into my fiance's face, tried to break my arm. Now it's personal. At Money in the Bank, I'm going to hurt her. I'm going to break her ego, bash her head in. And then Becky's music plays. Go ahead.
Becky still insists she won that night. She went home with her hot husband, and Lyra had to go to the hospital with your weird little fiance.
Lyra says the only thing, your hot husband is the only good thing about you. Becky is the best thing to happen to Lyra. Lyra says people are talking about me because I beat you. Becky puts it on the line. If Lyra beats her, then Becky won't challenge her again for the Intercontinental title. Lyra says, no problem. I did it with my eyes closed last time.
Becky's not done.
Yeah, no, Becky definitely is not done. Becky graciously raised Lyra's hand when she won. Lyra needs to do the same when Becky wins.
Again, making me think that there is going to be some kind of shenanigans, and that Becky's still going to be like, no, you're still going to raise my hand. I cheated, but like that was the deal. You have to raise my hand.
Speaking of cheating, we've got Karrion Kross meeting up with Sami Zayn backstage as Sami walks into his match his Money in the Bank qualifier with Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Karrion Kross, is trying to pitch to Sami Zayn why they should team up. Sami says, I don't have time for your mind games. I will deal with you later. Sami walks into the ring.
Did you catch Karrion Kross at the end as he was walking away?
Well, Grayson Waller and the New Day in the background, too.
Oh, I did not catch that. No. As Sami's walking away, Kross just yells, you're never going to win a title.
Oh, yeah. That Karrion Kross is a interesting figure in the universe, for sure.
Well, and right now, his stuff is selling crazy. Like, there were no Karrion Kross shirts. He basically was like, you need to put stuff out. And then he became, like, it was either the number 1 or the number 2 seller over the past couple weeks. Yeah. Just, again, showing that people want him. Let's get him more involved. Can we see him wrestle, maybe?
Yeah, for real. This is worldwide wrestling entertainment. It's like it's in the name. Sami and Seth go at it first. Finn waits out to see what happens here in this match. Finn, when he starts going in, he goes, ya pow, ya pow, ya pow, like he's in Super Smash Brothers. There's a self-harm dive to take out Rollins. Finn runs around the ring to punch Zayn in the head to bring him back to the ring. During the break, Finn is alternately stomping on Sami and Seth in the various corners. Finn hammering away on Rollins. Rollins rolls out and attacks Zayn, only to get a few good hits on Zayn. I'm trying to see Zayn here. Rollins hitting on Sami's kidney. We finally have some Sami Uso chants. Sami with a few big chops on Finn, but an elbow drops him to the mat. After the break, Sami unloads on Rollins about 30-plus punches. This is where we have my move of the match. Sami Zayn springboard moonsault from Sami Zayn, and then he puts his finger up in the air. R.I.P. Sabu. Of course, Sami is of Syrian descent. There is that famous Arabic opening to Raw in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia.
So
I think it's Riyadh.
He actually did that same move in Saturday night's main event. The way we kind of had to cut it, I didn't get a chance to talk about it because in my notes, he hits because they call that when you do the fall on both your legs, and they call that the Arabian moonsault or Arabian, and then whatever move you do. And he did the same thing and kind of pointed to the sky to honor Sabu on Saturday night, but they didn't mention it on commentary, and he was kind of still on the ground when he did it. So I just found it interesting that he did that. I guess they wanted to kind of call more attention to it because they did not mention it at Saturday night's main event. But again, awesome tribute to Sabu, an influence on Sami Zayn for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Rollins gets an incredible move on Zayn, only for Sami to kick out of the count. Sami gets a sunset flip powerbomb, which Balor breaks up the pin. Let me know when I start to get close to your move of the match here.
Heard.
Finn sends Sami out of the ring. Now it's just time for Finn and Rollins. Finn's hubris will cost him. Balor hits Rollins with a sling blade while Rollins has Zayn setting up for the pedigree. I mean, yeah, guys, this is just action-packed ending to this show. Top rope, Sami and Balor. Sami superplex and then a frog splash from Rollins onto Sami Zayn. During the break, all three men are down in the match. Balor comes in super kick from Rollins. Sami eats the same from the top rope.
So this is where we're getting close to my move of the match. There's a time where Seth hits another pedigree, can't get a pinfall. So Seth sets Sammy up for a stomp. That Sammy then counters to try and do his Blue Thunder Bomb, which is then countered into another attempted stomp by Seth Rollins. That's then countered into a successful Blue Thunder Bomb by Sami Zayn. Again, just a real quick back and forth. Again, really technical. It's like, oh, they did the same thing twice. It's like, yes, but to do that, especially with those moves, how much fluidity there is, like Rollins pressing himself up on the stomp, Sammy swinging him around for the Blue Thunder Bomb. That was just a really awesome sequence for me.
Yeah. After that, we've got Sammy and Seth in the middle of the ring. Sammy gets the exploder on Seth, catching him off guard. Then intercepts and gets the sling blade, drop kicking Sammy into Seth. Balor going up top, misses a coup de grace. A Huluma kick by Zayn, but Breaker and Bronson Reed break up the pin. It's Jey Uso. Uso and Breaker go at it. Reed eats a super kick. Everyone gets a super kick. Yeet. A spear by Breaker. Bronson Reed attacks. Dominic comes out with a chair for Finn, finally assisting the Judgment Day. Seth, however, stomps Finn into the chair. Seth gets the pin and win. The Judgment Day's plan backfires. Seth qualifies for Money in the Bank. Seth, however, directs Breaker and Reed to attack, but the guitar riff kicks off. It's CM Punk. Where is he? Breaker and Reed go to Gorilla.
Yeah, he sends them up the ramp. He's like, go get him!
Go get him!
It's like, oh, he must be coming out through the curtain where we'll see him in a minute.
Oh, he's right behind me, isn't he?
Literally.
Punk pops up from behind, hits a go to sleep, one of the worst go to sleeps I've seen. Punk runs up from over the barricade, up the stairs. Roll the credits. Let's go.
This Raw drug a little bit for me, not going to lie. I don't think this was the strongest Raw we've had. Overall was good. Again, I think they're setting up good things for Money in the Bank and going forward. This just didn't have the same pop the ones like leading up to Saturday night's main event and to Backlash did for me.
I feel like Saturday night's main event felt like an extra episode, like a bonus episode of Raw or SmackDown, where it was like, we're going to do 5 matches in 2.5 hours and throw some stuff in the middle. And yes, it did move some things along. We did have, I liked the Jey Uso and Logan Paul match. I liked John Cena versus R-Truth. Zelina Vega versus Chelsea Green. I'm not not great. Not like thrilled about. Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker defeating Punk and Sami Zayn. I mean, we did the same damn thing on Monday night, you know? So it just feels like we're kind of rehashing some things. But I liked Saturday night's main event, honestly, and SmackDown held up pretty well. So
yeah,
weekend.
I honestly, I probably like SmackDown the most out of all the shows.
Okay.
Again, I feel like Saturday night's main event was kind of just an extension episode.
Yep.
Like you said, again, the big thing was really to show who the new member coming in with
Judgment Day.
No, with what are you calling them? The visionary?
The Vision.
Oh, just the Vision.
Yes.
Yeah, to bring Bronson Reed back. Again, I want to hear him talk. I kind of want to hear his side of everything that happened with Seth Rollins and why he came back, because Seth didn't really even speak on it either. Really, only Paul Heyman did. So I'm sure there's still something brewing there that'll eventually pop off down the line.
Yes.
I just want a little more there.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll see what else is there when we continue on The C Show. All right, welcome back to The C Show. We're here. I did want to we mentioned it a little bit earlier, but Joe Hendry did lose the TNA Championship to Trick Williams. So now Joe Hendry, the TNA frontrunner, kind of lost. I mean, we've talked about this previously. I honestly think he's being set up to be moved over to the WWE, so it's just a matter of time. We'll have to see the reaction to Battleground from Sunday night and see where that goes. But do you have any other thoughts? I mean, we've already gone an hour and a half here. So
my last little thought there is just it's interesting to me that the whole thing is, okay, Joe Hendry doesn't have the title anymore. He can make the bump over to WWE, but that the title is just on another guy who's already in WWE.
Yeah.
So I feel like there could have been more there where, he wins that, and then, maybe he starts pressing up against higher NXT titles. Maybe it's, a unification or a title match.
Well, and there has also been the rumors going around that NXT and AAA are going to merge and there's going to be some sort of split in the NXT and NXT Europe, and then NXT North America with AAA. So I don't know how that's going to play out. So we'll have to see with the corporate restructuring further there as well. But
well, however that gets cut up, whoever ends up working with whoever in any rebranding, you'll be able to find it all right here
on
The C Show.
Of course you like The C Show. Make sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share our podcast with your friends. Make sure to follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook, and YouTube at CShowPod. If you have questions for the boys, send us an email, cshowpod@gmail.com. Thanks to our friends, Amir and Patrick, for their assistance. The C Show is a production of 832 Media. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll be back next week.